Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at Abram's initial journey based on our source text.
Right. It's a foundational story.
We want to unpack, why he left, what was promised, and those early bumps in the road.
Exactly. We've got the account right here, the call, the journey to Canaan, and that whole detour into Egypt. It's quite packed.
Okay, so that call, it's not subtle, is it? Leave your native country, your
With your
relatives,
father's family.
go to the land I will show you.
Mmm.
Wow, that's asking a lot.
Immense. Especially back then. Your family, your land, that was your identity, your security,
So leaving it all for somewhere unknown.
purely on a divine command. It speaks volumes about his faith, or maybe the power of that encounter.
And it came with these huge promises too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Not small things. Becoming a great nation, being blessed personally, making his name great.
And being a blessing to all families on earth. That's a global scale promise right from the start.
And he just goes,
Yeah. Age 75. Takes Sarai, Lot, everything they'd gathered in Haran.
the text mentions their wealth, which is interesting.
Right, so it wasn't like he was fleeing poverty. It was a deliberate choice.
An act of obedience, it seems.
They get to Canaan, Shechem specifically, and the promise about the land gets reinforced there.
Yes. To your offspring, I will give this land. And what does he do?
Builds an altar.
Exactly. Then moves south between Bethel and Ai, builds another altar.
What's the significance of the altars, do you think?
Well, they're acts of worship, of course,
Hmm.
but also kind of like planting a flag, wouldn't you say?
Claiming the space, marking the territory that was promised.
Precisely. Establishing that divine connection in this new promised land. He keeps moving south towards the Negev.
But then reality bites. Famine, a severe one,
Yeah, harsh reality intrudes. Canaan isn't immediately paradise.
which forces him towards Egypt. And this is where it gets complicated.
Very. He's worried about Sarai's beauty, afraid he'll be killed for her.
So he comes up with this plan, ask her to say she's his sister.
It's such a human moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
You see the promise, but you also see the fear, the pragmatism, maybe even the calculation.
It shows that tension. Faith in the big promise, but fear in the immediate situation.
And his fear seems justified. In a way, she is noticed, taken into Pharaoh's household.
And Abram actually benefits initially, gets livestock, servants, because of her.
It's a strange turn. His deception seems to work, at least superficially, for a moment.
But only for a moment. Then comes the divine intervention, plagues.
Right. The narrative makes it clear. The plagues are because of Sarai, Abram's wife.
So despite Abram's scheme, there's a higher power correcting the situation.
It seems so. Protecting the integrity of the promise, perhaps, or Sarai herself?
Pharaoh figures it out. He's not happy.
Not at all. He confronts Abram directly. What have you done to me?
Basically calls him out on the lie and tells them to leave.
Take your wife and go. So they're escorted out with all their possessions, maybe even more than they arrived with.
So looking back at this first leg of the journey,
Mhm.
what stands out?
For me, it's that initial obedience. Just picking up and going into the unknown at 75. That's staggering faith.
Agreed. But then immediately you see this mix of divine promise and human, messiness.
Exactly. The famine, the whole Egypt episode, it shows vulnerability, flawed decisions.
It's not a simple hero story, is it?
Not at all. He relies on his own wits, gets into trouble, needs divine intervention. It sets a pattern, really.
These early challenges, they really shaped the narrative. It's not just smooth sailing towards the promise.
And it introduces all those key themes we'll see again and again. Land, descendants, blessing.
And that complex relationship between Abram and God.
Definitely. Promise and peril, right from the start.
It's a potent mix, stepping out in faith, then immediately facing the unexpected.
It makes you think, doesn't it? When you've felt called to make a big change, a leap into the unknown, how often do unforeseen things pop up? Challenges you didn't expect, maybe even opportunities you couldn't have planned for.
Yeah. And how do those unexpected twists end up shaping where you actually land? It's a good reminder that the path isn't always straight, even when the call feels clear.